Hello. Hi. It's been a while since I made a video. I figured I would go over some things and kind of close this whole series of stuff I've been doing about mobile application testing. Today I'm going to be talking about how we can first set up an environment for dynamic testing and then go over some basics of how we can do SSL unpinning for our applications so we can then proxy HTTP traffic through a proxy like Burp Suite here. First thing that we're going to want to do for our setup, obviously, is we're going to get a jailbreak. The jailbreak we're going to be using is checkrain. Again, we've gone over this in a previous video, but just to make things clear here, I'll leave a link in the description for you guys as well. I've already done the jailbreak. It's pretty straightforward. You can just find videos or just look it up on Google. After we get ourselves jailbroken, what we're going to do is we're going to install openssh, and the checkrain jailbreak automatically installs cydia. Cydia is a package manager that allows us to install apps that normally you wouldn't be able to install. For us, I believe just on the front page you can see this openssh right here. Explains how to install it. You can just click on the openssh link there, and you can you can just install from there, I believe. Yeah, from there you're gonna have the option to install it. I already have it installed though. Once we have openssh installed, we want to import the source in Cydia to Frida. And what Frida is it's basically a tool that allows us to attach to currently running processes and applications within our devices, like whether that be Android or iPhones, and it allows us to inject code into it and then dynamically analyze running applications on our phones. So let's do that. I don't know why I closed Cydia, but in order to do that, we're going to go to the sources section, go to edit, go to add, and what we're going to be adding is this URL right here. So yeah, I've actually already got that installed, but I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. You can see here I've got the Frida package already installed, and what that's going to do, if we can go to a terminal here, I'll just SSH into my phone. What we're going to do is just install Frida. Once you've added the source, you'll then install the Frida package, and that's pretty much, yeah, you're pretty much good to go from there. And we're going to have what's a binary that's called frida-server. It's going to be running automatically on our phone whenever we boot, but in your case, it probably won't be automatically running after you install it, so you'll just run something like this. And then you're going to put the ampersand there so it continues running in the background. I've already got it running. And if it was running on boot for you, what you can do as well, you can do like killall, tac, and frida-server. And then we can just run that again. And that basically means that now the frida-server is running openly on all interfaces, and we won't have to use like USB connections with Frida. We'll be able to just do it untethered. As long as you're within your local network, you're not really going to have to be concerned about any sort of security issues with that. After we've got Frida installed on our phone, what we can do is we can create a we're going to be installing Frida on our host device, and I would recommend at least that you do that in a virtual environment. You can just run something like that. This last section will be whatever you want to name the directory that the environment is going to be in. In my case, it's in this Frida directory right here. And in order to enter your environment, after you've made it, I'm just going to run something like that. Again, change it based on whatever you named the directory. But basically, you're going to be going to the bin folder and then running the activate binary. And now you're currently in the environment. In order to leave the environment, you can just run deactivate, but we want to be in it. And from there, we're going to be installing Frida and frida-tools. I've already got these installed. Once you get that done, you basically are ready to go for the most part. And what you want to do is in Burp Suite, under the Proxies tab, in Options, you're going to add a proxy listener to listen on all interfaces. Oh wait, I don't even have to do that. I want to listen on port 8081 on all interfaces. And now, basically, what you're going to be doing on your phone is you're going to set up a proxy from here. You go to configure proxy, you go to manual, and you want the IP address of your host or the IP address of your computer. I believe this was mine. And then you're going to add the port that you're listening on, or rather that Burp Suite was listening on. And now you're pretty much set up to proxy your traffic through Burp. So let's just give an example of why we need SSL unpinning first. That was already preloaded, but let's try and reload the page. And we can see that it's not going through. If we were to open up an application like YouTube, we can see we're getting some requests, like a single request being done here. And this is basically, yeah, just a post request being made to, what's the host? Yeah, it's just apple.com. So every time that you launch a app, you're basically sending requests to Apple, essentially. But that has nothing directly, at least, to do with YouTube. It's basically just telemetry, right? What we want is the actual traffic that's being sent from the YouTube app, right? And since we have SSL pinning running, we can't do that yet. Basically, SSL pinning is, we have a hard-coded certificates basically running in the application that prevents us from being able to intercept the requests. So what we can do now that we have this set up, we can do a command with frida-ps. Let me SSH into my phone. What was the IP address? Do I not have ifconfig installed? Whack. Alright, well, what I've already done is I've added my phone's IP address to my hosts file so that it resolves to just phone for me. You can do that as well. If you're on Windows, it's not going to be the Etsy host file. I don't know where your hosts file is off the top of my head. I don't use Windows. But yeah, I'm doing something like this, okay? The H flag is basically us entering the IP address of our phone. AI means that we want to list all currently running processes, essentially. And there we go. You can see we've got Cydia currently running. We've got Mail currently running. We got Safari because we just opened that. We got our settings because we opened that. And we got YouTube. So this is basically how we're going to identify applications, processes that we want to inject Frida into, or that we want to attach Frida to. But we may not even necessarily have to do this with this demonstration. We're going to do something kind of like this. And what this is doing with Frida codeshare, the codeshare option basically is going to load community created like scripts that allow us to do varying things. In this case, for iOS version 12, this is supposed to be like a general SSL pinning bypass. As you can see, that's the one that we're running right here. And so for when we use the F flag, that's going to be injecting code into the currently running application, the one that's like we can see on the screen right now. And again, I'm using the H for hosts. That's my phone. And so this says that we have successfully bypassed SSL pinning. So let's just try reloading. And you'll always see errors whenever you run Frida scripts, but for the most part, I don't think they mean anything. They're not verbose enough, I think, to give you an idea of what's happening. Okay, now you can see we're intercepting stuff from YouTube, and we can actually send requests to YouTube. I wonder if we could play videos. Why is it only sending a few? It's like it's retracting them or something. Interesting. So yeah, in as is the case with like all SSL pinning and like even you know, getting rid of jailbreak detection type functionality that some apps will use, your mileage will vary. Like a lot of times people will use a tool called objection, which its SSL pinning bypass has never worked for me on any application. But yeah, again, your mileage may vary. And in this case, let's try another application. For example, let's use Instagram, right? And it says it's bypassed it. But no matter what, we can't get any sort of requests being sent or whatever. We're not really intercepting anything, like a couple of requests from Facebook, but oh look, and they're encrypted too, the responses, but nothing too important is happening here. Let's try with TikTok. I'm pretty sure in this case as well, it'll say that we've bypassed it. Intercepting some general requests here. Oh, look, even our request is encrypted. But nothing's really happening here. So again, your mileage may vary, but reason why I'm using Frida for the demonstration is because there's just so much stuff that you can do with it. It's not just specifically for SSL pinning to bypass it. There's like tons of scripts actually just for these. This is a universal Android SSL pinning bypass, you know, or Frida multiple unpinning, right? Data protection. What does that do? Anyway, that's just a basic way of how you can bypass SSL pinning and get some dynamic testing of web applications on your iOS device. I hope that's of some use to you guys. Alright, thanks for, yeah.